community radio. Did you know food scraps and food soiled paper can now go in your green organics cart? That's right, include the food in your green cart. For more information, visit recology.com/Yuba Sutter.
And in with us right now, we've got Captain Julie Harding from the California Highway Patrol and Brian Danielson, who is also an officer at the California Highway Patrol. How are we doing, guys?
Perfect. Thank you for having us.
Why so perfect, Captain?
It's a beautiful day outside and glad to be here.
We're glad you are here. I mean, we know Brian because he comes in every month and talks to us and tells us everything, but we don't know you very well. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up and how you got into the Highway Patrol and what sent you on your path to make you here now.
I was raised in a really small town called Montague, just east of Wairika, just south of Oregon, on a sheep and cattle ranch. And so, went to school there, graduated Wairika High School, went to Sacramento State and got a criminal justice degree, and went to Los Angeles.
Ooh.
And I know.
Training grounds.
I know. Went to Los Angeles and finished law school there, and then went into the Highway Patrol in 1999, and have been all throughout the state since.
So what about criminal justice is interesting to you? What made you just lock in, let's focus on the law? It
was a multitude of decisions, I guess, that led me to this specific career. Being raised on a ranch, it doesn't seem like it would be the automatic path. But,
right.
But it just always interested me, and initially I wanted to be a lawyer, and then I wanted to be a judge, and how you change what you want to do depending on what you see and what you experience.
Did you have a career day at high school that influenced you?
No, actually, we didn't. I actually am a keynote speaker at the Seroptimus International up there so I do speak to young ladies in that area about, their opportunities, and regardless of where they come from or their economic or socioeconomic backgrounds, you can make it. You can do anything that you want to. You just have to make sure that you're determined, the difference between a need and a want.
Yeah.
And struggling isn't necessarily bad. Builds character, and it lets you achieve your goals. So you can basically do anything. So I like to be out and about, and this was the career I chose, and I love it. It's been a great decision so far. 23 years in.
Wow.
Yeah. So you've been in for just a little bit then. And
yeah, a little bit.
Now she's been in so long, she's going, how far away is retirement?
Right.
Exactly. How much longer do I have to deal with all of these young cadets that are coming in? And
I was going to say, probably for, speaking to young women, that probably the West Sacramento training facility down there is probably tough.
It's a little intimidating, the fact that we're one of two departments in the nation that are a live-in, and that our department doesn't take lateral transfers. So it doesn't matter if you've been in another department or you've been in the military, you're going through our academy. So it's nice that we have that consistency, but we also have that camaraderie, and knowing that everybody that wears this uniform has gone through that. 28 and a half weeks. Yeah. It is.
It's a portion of your life.
It's very difficult. It's very challenging, but there's a purpose behind everything that we do. So there's post-certification stuff, and then there's department-specific training, and it doesn't matter your education level or your background, as long as you don't have a criminal background.
Right.
Just a little.
A little caveat there. We can train you to do anything, and the opportunities in this department are so vast. You can live anywhere in the state. You can work any kind of assignment that you can think of. We have canines and pilots, and we have investigators and
dispatchers.
And if you don't want to be sworn, you come on our department and work in our non-uniform categories, and they are the support staff, incredible, phenomenal. I can't say enough about our non-uniform.
So I got to tell my granddaughter, you can go into the academy, get out, and then they'll train you how to drive an SUV fast.
Yes, very fast.
But she'd go, oh boy.
Always liking to go fast. You're talking about that camaraderie, and speaking of that, it's Fallen Officer Awareness Month, right, or something like that. Recognition.
Peace Officer. Peace Officer. It's National Peace Officer Week.
Yes.
And then Peace Officer Memorial Day is on the 15th.
And so talk about that a little bit. What goes on with Peace Officer Memorial Day and things like that?
Well, depending on the agency, we have a ceremony at the West Sacramento Academy. It was on the 3rd, where we honor the fallen CHP officers It's a pretty somber ceremony.
Yeah.
And we add names to the fountain if we lost officers during that time period. And we actually did add 3 this year due to COVID. They actually passed in 2019 and 2020. And so this is the first time we were able to honor them. Added those names to the fountains, and it's a time of remembrance.
Yeah.
Brian, are you able to, as a civilian, witness that? Go to the grounds, the academy, and tour?
Yeah, as a visitor. Yeah, you could check in as a visitor. It's right there in the quad, right behind the administration building where you check in.
Okay, to see the fountain and stuff like that. So,
yes.
Yeah, memorial. Okay.
Yeah. So, what do we have going on the 15th here in our local area? So,
what we have is the Yuba City Police Department today is having
today.
The Peace Officer
Okay.
Memorial. It's going to be at 10 a.m. Public's invited. It's going to be in their front parking lot, and they're going to read off the names of the officers who have lost their lives in this area throughout the history of this area. So,
yeah. So, I mean, that part of it is kind of somber, but to think about, everybody who also just donates their time as a peace officer to try to keep everybody in the community safe, and to just recognize those also who are living and doing that job is also important, I think. And so, thank you guys so much for serving our communities.
Yeah.
And so,
thank you.
I mean, what else do we have going on this month as far as with the CHP? We talked about a little bit about the driver safety courses, the senior safety course happening on the 18th and things like that. What else?
What else? And the whole month of May is Motorcycle Awareness Month.
Yeah.
And so we really try to get the word out to let drivers of vehicles know that you got to check twice, and you're going to probably save a life.
Yeah.
I mean, motorcycles are smaller, they're harder to see. You want to check your blind spots. You want to look over your shoulder after you check your mirror. Ensure that there's no motorcycle there or any other vehicles there before you change lanes or make a turn.
Right.
You also want to predict that motorcycle is going faster if you do see it in your mirror. They're smaller, so it kind of it messes up your ability to judge the speed.
Right.
So just assume that motorcycle is going faster. Motorcycles are allowed to lane split and slow traffic. So keep that in mind.
Saying that up to 35.
It's got to be below the 35 mile an hour speed limit, or 30.
I see that abused so many times.
Right,
you know.
and then they can't go. I think it's more than 10 miles an hour over what other traffic's going. So
Okay, yeah. There's always those that take advantage of that, and I just stay put.
well, I mean, the key thing is you see them, and then you don't change lanes.
Right.
They don't get hurt. You don't get hurt.
The nice thing
Everything
about
moves.
loud pipes save lives is I get up somewhere and and they, what was that? So they hear you, and I've got all the lights on the front to show that I'm here, canary yellow helmet, stuff like that. I mean, I want to be seen.
No, that's one of the things we focus on too, is not only the car drivers but the motorcycle riders themselves.
Right.
You got to be visible. You got to wear those. Usually, we recommend the lighter colored DOT approved helmets, and then reflective gear.
Sure.
If you don't have reflective gear, then lighter colors, not the gray or the black that blends in too much with the asphalt.
I stopped at that place up on Live Oak Boulevard that has the T-shirts and stuff, and I've got a pretty lime green pullover and shirt that I wear not only on my bicycle but on my motorcycle. So they go, oh look,
Yeah.
But then not only that, you're going to want to. You're going to want to dress for the slide and not the ride. So I know today it's getting to be better weather, warmer weather. We don't want to see the shorts, flip-flops on a motorcycle. We want to see the proper riding gear, boots, abrasion-resistant jackets.
all the gear
pants.
all the time.
Yeah, all the gear all the time. And it's nice to see a motorcycle accident where somebody slid for hundreds of feet and they got up and walked away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In the right gear.
Exactly.
Well, Motorcycle Month, trails last month was our Distracted Driving Month. So
Yeah.
they kind of go one in one. And I think the focus really is the fact that when you're driving, regardless of whether you're riding a bike or you're driving a car. That's what you're doing at that point. Leave the phones down. Make sure the kids are secure, all the things that are going to distract you, because we use a term called head on a swivel, and that's
Right.
for officer safety. But when you're driving, you pretty much have to have that mentality as well. You have to look at all the traffic ahead of you, beside you, behind you. And that's where you're going to see these guys coming up on you.
Right.
And, regardless of whether you agree with the fact that they should be or shouldn't be allowed to lane split, they are allowed to. So
Right.
Only in California.
they are right. So why not just share the road? Why not be the nice driver, the one that lets people in, the one that goes over to the side a little bit, gives them a little bit more room. Don't get in a match with these people. It's not worth it. Number one. Number two, it's just regardless of whether you're going to cause a crash or not, it's just not the way to be. So
there's differences in the way riders ride because I drive a big heavy cruiser. So I stay put, but they got the guys in the crotch rockets, the faster bikes, and you'll look back and see them somewhere, and all of a sudden they're not there, and you realize they're right here.
Right.
It's like, whoa, where'd they come from?
Right.
Because they're quicker, they're more nimble,
Yep.
and they're always in a hurry.
they are.
That's
They
the
are.
reason I don't ride a motorcycle on the street. I grew up racing dirt bikes, and so I only know one position with my throttle, and that's wide open.
Of course.
And so it's not safe. So
No.
it's not only the being aware of the motorcyclists, but also the motorcyclists being aware of what they're doing as well. So I mean, it's crazy.
So I know when I worked in the Monterey CHP office, Laguna Seca Raceway, you could rent the track and go out and have a blast. And there's all the safety gear there. There's the response vehicles. I mean, it's a great place to go to really open up your sport bike or whatever you want to do. You could drive cars out there too. And you could look for the local racetracks too. Is it still called Sears Race or Sears Point Raceway, or is it something different?
There's Sears Point. There's Infineon.
Yeah.
And there's also Laguna Seca and
Well, up there in Willows, you got Thunder Hill.
Thunder Hill. Yeah.
That's a neat place. Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, if there's a necessity to go fast, that's where you need to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I don't ride motorcycles on the street. So
Well, at my age, I'm on a pension, I can't afford speeding tickets. So
They tend to get very spendy.
Oh, boy.
pretty quick.
they sure do. So anything else happening with the CHP for the month of May?
So Lyndhurst High School is hosting a career fair.
Okay.
Mainly for their students for the first part of the day, but they also opened it up for the public on the 18th. From 1 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. The public's invited. So we're going to have all sorts of different jobs that are going to be there. Not just with the Highway Patrol, but all the Recology is going to be there.
Right.
And the military recruiters are going to be there. All sorts of different businesses will be there for that recruiting or that career fair. And then later that evening, for you, we have that Age Well Drive Smart class down at the Rio Oso Community Center at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I mean, it's designed more for the people
You'll
who live
lock
down
in
there.
that next driving test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more designed for the people who live down there because we haven't got a class down there yet. So we'll be trying to focus on the residents of Rio Oso, Nicholas, and then Plumas Lake.
Yeah.
That's that day. And then the next day, June 2nd, we're going to have a Start Smart class.
So if an individual, get off topic, wants to get a career in law enforcement, do you recommend going to college, like a junior college first, and taking their law enforcement program? Or, because you can't just go right into the academy at a certain age, can you? Don't you have to?
You can be 20 and a half and go into our academy because California, you have to be 21 to carry a gun.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So there's kind of the threshold. So 20 and a half is the minimum that you can come into our academy. It's a high school graduation at this point as far as the requirement for minimum. But it's always good. More education, the more educated you are.
Both Yuba and Butte College offer a law enforcement category peace officer training course or whatever. I took it when I was a freshman at Butte, and that's the career I was looking to going into. And I think Yuba's is back up. I'm there for a while. It was kind of on the down.
You're talking about the Post Academy?
Well, just to take a law enforcement program at Yuba College, and Butte College, where you go in and get your AA, Yeah.
You get an associate's degree in criminal justice.
Criminal justice, that's what I was trying to say,
Right.
Yeah, because they have an academy itself, which is kind of like our academy, just not live-in, and they have a full-time and part-time academy.
Okay.
But we have our full-time academy at West Sacramento.
Sure, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Whether you go to a formal education setting, or it's OJT, or you continually learn. That's a mindset. But everything that you need to know to do this job, we'll train you in the academy. 100%.
Does CHP offer a ride-along program at all? Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
That was fun when I was doing it with the Grizzly PD.
Absolutely. We focus on those that are looking to join the department and that they're in the process.
Oh, okay.
So they kind of get a feel of what they're going to feel, see, and experience on the job on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, all these career day. We're going to have a booth at the fair.
Yeah.
Come out and talk to us,
Yeah.
or come by the office. And as I said, there's so many things you can do on this department. You can live anywhere you want in the state. You can basically do anything that you feel like you have an interest in. And if you get to something and you don't like it, or you get bored, you can do something else. And that's the magic of our department.
Right.
Yeah.
We are so big, and we're getting so involved in general law enforcement, not
Right.
just traffic, because that's kind of the stigma, I guess, if you will, of
Right.
Highway Patrol, is that we just traffic. And that was true for a while, but now we are so broad-based, especially when we absorbed state police in 95, that, our base for general law enforcement, in addition to traffic, has just grown exponentially.
Wow.
So, but like with everyone else, we're, our hiring and retention levels are kind of dwindling just
Right.
based on the atmosphere and social issues. But
Well,
I think
I know you say you can work anywhere you want, but it's that first couple of years you may not get the exact assignment you want.
no. So what happens is you when you graduate, you're going to backfill, if you will, where other officers have decided to leave and
Right.
to transfer from. So you're typically going to go to metro areas, you're going to LA, Oakland, San Francisco,
Right, larger,
San Diego.
larger.
Yes, and so, but the problem is that that stigma shouldn't be. It is an amazing training ground. You'll get to see, touch, experience a lot of things, which gives you a really broad basis to do what you want to do on the department or in law enforcement in general, anywhere you want to transfer to. And it was fun. I mean, I started in LA. I came from Montague,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
went to LA, and that was my first assignment, was West Valley. And it was it's probably my favorite time on the Highway Patrol.
Well, probably from Montague, Reading was your biggest town area.
Right, yeah, Reading or Medford. you
Yeah,
go
and then
to-
then go to LA.
Right, and LA, and it's definitely it's a big difference.
Yeah.
But you adjust, and when you do that big area, then you can come to these small. You have the basis. You can
Right.
handle things because our staffing is lower in some small areas, and so you have that base to draw from, and so you can handle things on your own. Which is a necessity in a lot of cases. So, but it's fun. It's absolutely fun. So anywhere you work, and as I said, we give you the tools, and we train everybody to the level that safety's first.
28 and a half weeks of live-in.
28 and a half
Yeah.
weeks living. Yes.
Wow.
And we don't necessarily banish everybody to the metro areas. My class, we had about 20% of our class go to some interesting areas like the Bishop Resident Post, Lone Pine Resident Post, Winter Haven, Santa Rosa. I mean, it's a little more metro Santa
Right,
Rosa,
right.
but my neighbor, he's in the Highway Patrol. He went to Ukiah.
Yeah.
We have officers who go to the Resident Post on the coast. So I mean, right out of the academy, you're getting thrown into this beautiful area.
Wow.
Excluding Winter Haven, but you're going to this beautiful area. And it's an experience.
Yeah.
And the thing about Winter Haven is you don't have to live in the state of California. You could live in Yuma, Arizona. And it's one of those things that kind of appeals to some people. I mean, you'd
Right.
be a California Highway Patrol officer living in Arizona.
Yeah.
So there are different possibilities out
Yeah.
there.
I hear that. Yeah. You gotta like desert.
So if somebody wants to be get involved and to become a peace officer with the Highway Patrol, what would you say to them if they wanted to try to, if this is something they're looking into, something they're interested in, but don't know quite for sure what they want to do with their career?
Don't be scared to ask. Number one, don't be intimidated by the depth, I guess, or the shiny badge, and all the negative. There's a lot of positive in law enforcement. There's a lot of positive in this department, and it's a great career. It's not just a job. Sometimes we get stuck in, we have this job, and I can do something else. And this is a career. This is something that you build upon. And as I said, your opportunities are so vast in this department that just don't be intimidated by the process getting in and going to the academy and having to move. Those are all fun things. Those are experiences in life. And it builds character.
Yeah, you
and,
grow from
and
it.
You find your purpose. And it's definitely a calling, but you see there's nothing better than helping people and protecting people. There's some times where we have to bring it, if you will, and we do, because we have the training and the skills and abilities and the experience. But we're trained to do that. So I guess, there's some logistical things to overcome. It's definitely a challenge. But if it wasn't a challenge, we wouldn't be as successful and as quality as we are. So
come
be
by the
intimidated.
fair this summer and
Absolutely.
see their booth.
Or you could also check out our website too. Our recruiting website is chpmadeformore.com.
chpmadeformore.com.
Yeah, and that's the spelled out word, made for more, FOR. Then that doesn't just have the officer positions; it has all the non-uniform positions that are available.
Okay.
So the public safety dispatchers, they're trying to hire as many as they can. The call takers and dispatchers.
They probably have an opportunity for mechanics.
Absolutely.
We do have,
Yeah.
We need them, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is invaluable. He keeps everything
Yeah.
everything rolling.
Do we have opportunities and openings for dispatchers and mechanics and other things like that in our area right now?
Yes, our closest is in Chico
Okay.
for dispatchers. Mechanics, I have a full-time mechanic at my office, so I don't have an opening, but we have Oroville, and any CHP office has a mechanic assigned.
In West
So-
West Sacramento, we have our the warehouse where we build all the cars. Those
Right.
are all those mechanics and radio guys and all those other people that could be hired that are in a non-uniform position. They do a fabulous job getting our cars from the point of delivery to the point of where they could hit the road.
Yeah, that's probably a process. And
Well, you
what-
think about it. I mean, everybody looks at the uniform and the badge, and they're the cops, right? But the support staff, as I
Yeah.
said, and the people that keep the lights on, if you will, and keep our department running are the inspectors at the commercial facilities, and there are our clerical staff at our offices, and there are telecommunications programmers, and there are people that make sure our phones work, and all of those positions are within our department. You think about our radio communications and all of the vaults and the towers throughout the state, and all of the things that go into keeping that all running
Sure.
year after year after year, and then the integration with the cars and the computer systems and
Right.
storage and the body cams, and I mean all these things. When you start to delve down into what it actually takes to keep a department running,
Yeah.
it's
How does the state do on keeping the funding for the CHPs going?
It's definitely a challenge. I mean, just
Is
like
it?
any other department, funding is an issue, but we have, some great folks at headquarters that do some budget change proposals if we need some extra for some specific project or some equipment. Case in point, our new video systems in our cars has been under development for a couple years, and we had to ask for some more funding. And we have an
Much
office.
needed.
We have an office of special representative that deals with the legislature and all the bills that go through the Senate and Assembly, and we draft proposals and justify what we're going to use. We also get grants to safety
It's a big
corridor grants
process,
and things like
yeah.
that. And so. It's definitely when you start to bifurcate the issues
Right.
that go into making sure that
But like you say, we only see you in the
solvent.
black and white
Right,
and the uniform, but
right.
everything that goes behind it
takes
you
a
know.
lot. It takes
Yeah.
a lot. And so those positions are available. If you don't feel that you are a fit for wearing the uniform, and we absolutely have a position for you. And we would love to talk to anybody that's interested.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Captain Harding, Officer Danielson, our time is up. Is there anything you want the people of Yuba Sutter to know about what you guys do, or maybe what's happening with the CHP?
Well, I personally would like to thank the community for the welcome. I've been here for a while, but the support for my officers. It's been a tough couple years, just thinking about COVID, but all of the other issues that we have dealt with as law enforcement. This area has just been phenomenal. They bring food by, I get cards, I get letters and internet notes from people with their appreciation and support for law enforcement, and that goes a long ways. I go into briefing and I read those, and because sometimes it's a long while between the positives sometimes, and we deal with the negative, and it's always a complaint or it's always a bad situation when we deal with something, and to get those real positive vibes from people, and then just know that we're open, and if you have a question or if you need something from us, call or stop by. If you're interested in any kind of position, 100%, get on our website, talk to an officer out in the field, come to our office or come to one of our booths, and we'll let you know your opportunities that await.
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for being in today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Big news, all Recology Yuba Sutter customers with a green organics card can now compost food scraps and food soiled paper. That's right, include the food in your green card. Leftovers, paper plates, napkins, even pizza boxes are all acceptable in your green card. For more information, visit recology.com/Yuba Sutter. Recology is proud to be a 100% employee-owned company dedicated to the practice of reduce, reuse, and recycle.